Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham, Brakahakodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video. And in this video, I'll be profiling an article from EUobserver.com titled EU, or the European Union, constructing €8 million spy-proof bunker for secret talks. And when we go through this article, they'll say the reason behind this bunker is to stop Russian and Chinese spies from getting information. But when you have an understanding of the scriptures, you ultimately know why bunkers like this, as well as other hiding places that these higher-ups in society and ultimately the elites are constructing them for, to escape the judgments that Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi is bringing on this planet for all the wickedness people have been committing. The famines, the pestilences, race wars, civil wars, world wars, and ultimately nuclear missiles that are going to be shot from one end of the earth even unto the other. But hey, when the dust settles, these higher-ups in society and the elites aren't going to come back to the surface to try to continue their NW0, the GREATRESET, or the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Once those nukes fly, that's game over, because after the dust settles, the 144,000 of the elect, who are fishers of men right now, prophets out on the highways and byways preaching the words of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, as well as putting up video epistles to wake up and edify the rest of the elect. And the prophets of the Most High are chiefly from GMS or Great Millstone. In that day, they're going to be 144,000 hunters with spiritual bodies, and they're going to go to all these bunkers and other hiding places of the higher-ups and elites and drag them out and slap chains on them, because these higher-ups and the elites in society are going to survive these calamities to be the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven under the children of Israel, who are known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today. This is Amos chapter 9. I'm going to read verses 1 to 3. I saw Yahweh standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. And those that are trying to flee and escape are the higher-ups in society, and especially the elites who are ruling the planet right now, who are of the nation of Esau, Edom, or these so-called white people, such as the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Gettys, Merovingians, you name it. Verse 2, though they dig into hell, thence shalt mine hand take them. And when you go into that word hell, it means Sheol, or the grave, so underground bunkers, domes, deep underground military bases. It's not talking about another dimension where a guy who's red with horns and a pitchfork is torturing people. That's all Saturday morning cartoon nonsense, mythology. Hell is not scriptural. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down, going into low orbit space stations. And we know that these higher-ups in societies are working on space travel. What do you have? Richard Branson with Virgin Mobile with their tourist luxury space travel, as well as Elon Musk with SpaceX and Jeff Bezos of Amazon. But best believe that they've got much more advanced things than just flying rockets into low orbit space. They've got space stations and stuff like that. That won't even save them. Verse 3, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, and Carmel was a mountain, so talking about deep mountain bases, I will search and take them out thence. So hey, there's no going to deep mountain bases to save yourselves as well. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, luxury submarines, which you can look up, as well as undersea bases, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So there's no escape for you higher-ups in society or you elites from the 144,000 hunters of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And as it says at the end of verse 3, even Leviathan, that serpent, is going to get in some work on you as well. And like I just said, the reason a lot of you higher-ups and the elites are going to survive is because you're going to be the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. This is Psalm 149. I'm going to start at verse 4. For Yahweh taketh pleasure in his people, the children of Israel. Again, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who may look like these heathen nations. He will beautify the meek with salvation, beginning with the elect of the nation of Israel, and at the head of the elect are the 144,000. Let the saints be joyful in glory, let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people. Beginning with the elites and the higher-ups of these different heathen nations. And at the top of that list are the biblical Edomites, you so-called white people, as pursuant to Psalms chapter 83, to bind their kings with chains, your Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and their nobles with fetters of iron. These people in government, like the presidents, the prime ministers, these billionaires like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, if they even survive all these calamities. But as it says, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. And when you put chains and fetters of iron on people, what does that mean? They're in slavery. To execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh. And as it says in Revelation chapter 13, verses 9 to 10, he that hath an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So everything you heathens, beginning with your elites, and first and foremost, what the Edomites did to the children of Israel, is going to be done unto you. You're going into slavery for the first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven to build it up. But after that first 1,000 years, the heathens that aren't Edomites are going to be allowed to go back to their lands and live in peace, but they're still going to be under the subjection of the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, administered by the children of Israel. But as for you Edomites, every single Edomite man, woman, and child, young and old, after that first 1,000 years is going to be gathered up and permanently culled from this planet with fire. But let's get back into this article. The EU is building an €8 million secure bunker in Brussels so that leaders can discuss secrets without Russian or other eavesdroppers, according to an EU memo describing the project seen by EU Observer. The chamber could host around 100 people, up to 34 leaders and their 34 note takers, as well as protocol, technical, and catering staff. And this seems to be a bunker dealing with leaders in the EU or other government or political figures. The elites are going to have their hideaways different from this, but this is an example of these nobles that are going to hide. The EU has 27 members, but could expand in future, and secure room will also be used for lower level meetings by ambassadors and senior EU officials. The room will be offline but equipped with internal big screen conferencing technology and microphones hardwired to equally secure booths for 30 interpreters. And both the meeting room and booths will be enclosed in a NATO certified insulation cage to mitigate the risk of exploitation of compromising emanations, electromagnetic and radio waves generated by IT screens and wires, which can be remotely intercepted. Anyone who goes in, even if they're a cleaner, must have secret EU security clearance and a need to know reason for being there. Secret EU is the block's second highest level of classification. It covers information that could seriously harm EU interests if it got out. Leaks could raise international tensions or threaten life or public order in Europe, according to EU security guidelines. And EU leaders and staff will have to leave their phones, laptops, smartwatches, electronics, key fobs, and other hearing aids in soundproof lockers outside the chamber. The facility is to be built by 2024, but with these Edomites, as it says in Psalms 58 verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go forth speaking lies as soon as they be born. For all we know, this bunker could already be built in the EU Council complex in Brussels, which already hosts summits. The exact location has not been decided yet, but officials are looking for somewhere near the normal EU summit room so that leaders can go back and forth more easily. So as we can see, the people in government, these higher-ups in society, are building secret bunkers to, as they say, keep Russian and Chinese spies out. But again, according to the scriptures, we know ultimately why these places are being set up, so that these higher-ups and elites in society can escape the calamities of Jacob's trouble. But as we read in Amos chapter 9, verses 1-3, and Psalms 149, there is no escape. Those 144,000 hunters are going to go wherever you higher-ups and elites in society dwell, drag you out like the rats you are, and slap chains on you because you're going to be the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. This is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 19. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth, mountain bases, underground bunkers, for fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. And ultimately, the Most High Yahweh shaking terribly the earth are those nuclear missiles, but it can also be all these other calamities that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is bringing onto this planet. Again, the famines, pestilences, race wars, civil wars, world wars. This is Revelation chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, speaking of those nuclear missiles, which, as it says in Isaiah chapter 24, is going to rock the earth back and fro like a drunk man. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the sun in the scriptures can be symbolic of knowledge, and the moon in the scriptures can be symbolic of wisdom. And when these nuclear missiles fly, and Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ, makes a second coming, the knowledge and wisdom of this world, chiefly through these Edomites, is going to be put to an end in that day. What's about to take place is going to be like nothing anybody has ever seen before. And Esau Edom, through his so-called pseudo-knowledge and wisdom and understanding, won't be able to describe it. Verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs. And the stars of heaven falling unto the earth are these different idols that people worship being cast down, and these people in high lofty positions being cast down, chiefly the Edomites. And that mighty wind is speaking of the nuclear missiles. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And where it says it departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, that's talking about that mushroom cloud after the nuclear missiles detonate. Because what does it look like when it billows into itself? Like a scroll rolling into itself. And the heaven departing away is Esau Edom's rulership coming to an end. Because in the scriptures, heaven and hell can represent a condition. If you're in your heavens, you're in rulership and power. If you're in hell, you're in slavery and out of power, which is going to happen to these Edomites as well as the rest of the heathens after they're taken out of power and go into that first 1,000 years of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. And the kings of the earth, your elites, like the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, and the great men, these higher-ups, these presidents and prime ministers and other political figures, and the rich men, your Jeff Bezoses, Elon Musks, Bill Gates, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman, their helpers that they're going to have with them, in those bunkers and other hiding places. What did it say back in that article? The chamber could host around 100 people, up to 34 leaders, the great men and the rich men, and their 34 note takers, as well as protocol, technical, and catering staff. And every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, these bunkers and mountain bases, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, Yahweh, the Most High, whom you people ignorantly refer to as so-called God, and from the wrath of the Lamb, his Son, Yahushai Hamashiach. And best believe that those that are really in the know, such as the elites that understand the scriptures, know that Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai is coming to take away their rulership. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Nobody shall be able to stand in the great day of the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope your sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.